It looks like bread and smells like bread. It's fluffy like bread, and yet it has next to no carbs. Like soy-free tofu and chickenless chicken. We just love delicious contradictions around here. Please give this video a like if you do too. Hello friends and not yet friends, welcome back to Mary's Test Kitchen, where we're starting this bread recipe innocently enough with a combination of warm water and instant yeast. The yeast needs something to eat to do its job, so I'm feeding it maple syrup. Don't panic. The yeast will eat the sugar and produce dough-expanding gas, and shouldn't be leaving any or much sugar in the bread itself, but since I don't know how much exactly, I'll still keep it in the net carb calculation without subtracting anything. Details to come. In the meantime, seeing that our yeast is alive, we can be confident about adding our super low-carb, high-protein, and fibrous flours. First, in the form of oat fiber. It's made from the husks of oats. Super fine, so be careful when handling this stuff. You don't want to inhale it. Yet. It's gonna give our bread a wonderful toasty aroma when it's baking. I got this one from Amazon, and overall I really like the consistent quality of the Anthony's brand, so I do recommend it. Affiliate link in the description, if I don't forget. But recently, I found out that Bulk Barn carries oat fiber and basically every ingredient you'll need in this recipe, so that is an option too if you have one nearby. 100 grams of that. After that, the protein in the form of vital wheat gluten. Yes, the protein that is normally found in bread anyways and will allow the dough to expand and behave very much like regular bread dough. It's super fluffy like the oat fiber, so handle it gently. We want 175 grams. Then golden flax seeds. I always buy mine in bulk, then grind them into a fine meal, then store in the fridge. Gotta keep that omega-3 ALA content fresh. But recently I've also seen golden flax meal sold in stores, and that seems convenient, so maybe that's what you prefer. And if you can only get regular brown flax seeds or flax meal, I suppose that should be fine too. Remember, these are your high-protein, low-carb sweet potato-looking sandwich rolls, and there are no rules. Except, as always, I highly recommend using a kitchen scale. They are affordable, easy to use, and will make your baking so much more successful. Finally, add a teaspoon of salt. It doesn't have to be pink, but clearly from last week's video, we like pink around here. Then give it a stir to roughly get this dough to start forming, and then I'm going to hand things over to my assistant, aka the stand mixer. This keto thing might have put an end to my 7 years of chronic tendonitis symptoms, but that doesn't mean I want to go back to the days where I did this all by hand. Let your stand mixer go with the dough hook at speed 3 or 4 for about 6 minutes, or get an arm workout, it's up to you, until the dough looks like this. Smooth and soft, though it's a bit stiffer than regular dough due to the higher protein content, and I'd say slightly more challenging to pull apart, but it's nothing you can't handle. I'll divide this into 8 equal portions, and with this rough piece, I'll knead the sides into itself. And smooth out the ball by rolling it on the table like this. And then you can do the same with all 7 other pieces. You could just leave it like this, round rolls, but I am going to squish and roll out and roll up and pinch along the seam. And then tend to my hands, rolling up and down to make this sweet potato shape. It looks like a baguette, I know, but I cannot call it a baguette. Not because I'm a baguette purist, but I'll explain later. It's still not going to be a baguette, even though I'm putting it in my very awesome non-stick baguette pan. The very same pan we made those amazing Vietnamese-style baguettes full of delicious, delicious carbs in it, which if you're okay with the macros, I highly recommend. It is super legit and the best thing to make your banh mi samis in. But back to these buns, I'll repeat the shaping process. By the way, while you're here, can you let me know what other kinds of breads you might want to see low or no carb versions of? I've just been thinking of basic things to replace what I usually eat, but if you have suggestions, I would love your input. Also, please give this video a like if you're liking it so far, and maybe subscribe if you want to. Anyways, make sure you give plenty of room between each baguette, sweet potato looking roll. When your pan is full up, cover it with plastic wrap. But we still have some dough, so I'll redeploy my backup pan, which is less awesome to be honest. It needs a parchment liner. And it makes skinnier loaves, so I'll shape accordingly. Now cover that as well. In the past, I've used damp, clean, lint-free kitchen towels to cover, which is a great low-waste option. So if that is an option for you, please go ahead and do that. And let these rest and rise in a warm, draft-free location for about an hour and a half. This dough is heavier than our usual bread dough, so that's why it takes so long. We want it to rise somewhere in between double to triple in size. When you have about 15 minutes left on your timer, start to preheat your oven and arrange the racks if you have two pans like me. And look how they've risen! When your oven is fully preheated, pull off the plastic wrap or your damp towel. It should come off fairly easily. And I have my big knife and a spray bottle for the slashing. Spray both the blade and the tops before going in. You don't have to use a large, scary knife like mine. In fact, this is probably not ideal because it's not that maneuverable, but your blade should be very, very sharp. You want to cut in just like shy of a centimeter, thereabouts-ish, about 45 degrees-ish. We're just breaking the surface tension, so when this expands in the oven, and it will expand quite a bit, it won't blow out in a less attractive place. Then spray water on the tops once more, and you can place these in your preheated oven. I sprayed a few more times when it's in there to create steam before closing the oven door and setting a timer for 30 minutes. Afterwards, your kitchen will smell wonderful and your buns should come out looking like this. It will be so tempting to rip into these right away, but I recommend you resist until they are cooled down. This is of course a case of do what I say, not as I did, because I totally burnt the tips of my fingers. The crust is thin, the loaf is soft and springy, and it smells toasty and wonderful. The interior is fluffy, and it tastes, well, like bread. Although you can tell there is flaxseed because it gives that flax gel sensation just like a tiny bit, but when you add some butter, oh my gosh, it's just so perfect. Really, really perfect. I'm proud of this one if you can't tell, and if you're curious about low-carb bread or if you've been looking for one, you will not regret making this. I have been working on it for months, getting the ratios and the baking procedure just right, and now we have the perfect vegan keto sandwich bun that will be amazing for all your sandwich needs. With double the amount of protein than a regular bun of the same size, double the amount of fiber, and 10 times less carbs with only 4 net carbs per bun. But I do have to be completely upfront with you. There is a catch. Please drink plenty of water with your meal because that oat fiber and flaxseed are super thirsty. This is a food channel, so we are not going to get into details except to say that things could get uncomfortable the next day if you don't drink enough water. That's probably good advice whenever increasing your fiber intake regardless of the sources, I'd think. And last thing, it is not a baguette to those who want to call it baguette, because this crust is just not baguette level crustiness. I'm still working on that perfect baking procedure, so please do stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, my friend. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe for more interesting culinary contradictions. I've got even more experiments soaking in the fridge right now, and I cannot wait to share them with you, which means I gotta get back to work. Why don't you check out the latest soy-free pink tofu if you haven't already? It's weird, I know, but it's also incredible. Bye for now.